I'm not doing that. But welcome to the Raw Review. I'm Michael Hamflett from What Culture, and I'm joined by Michael Sidgwick from What Culture.
Hey, guys.
And as you can tell, this is slightly different this week. Adam Wilborn is off. He's enjoying a well-earned break with his little family, of course, and he'll be gutted to have missed another goated edition of Monday Night Raw. Isn't that right, Sidge?
Well, we'll get into it, I suppose.
Oh, that's not the start I wanted. I was just assumed to be as hyped as I was for this one.
Why would you assume that?
Well, because they started, Sidge, with the graphic flashing up of Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. We're going to get onto that a little bit later on. And it's now got the WrestleMania music, and then the Liberty Bell goes, ding, and it like lets you know that you're
Fixed
ready
it, so...
Yeah, well, WrestleMania's sorted. Hot night of action in store. And we start indeed with the Jey Uso New Day Imperium 6-man ahead of the Jey Uso Gunther Intercontinental title match next week. Jey Uso gets that mad babyface reaction, as he always does. And Kofi Kingston and Ludwig Kaiser start off against one another. It's all the usual sort of like Raw back and forth stuff, but then it kicks in when Gunther tags in. It looks like he's going to go face to face with Jey Uso, but he's not interested just yet. He kind of mocks him a little bit, tags back out to Vinci. Vinci gets a cheap shot in on Jey Uso. Then Gunther tags in and sticks the boots to Jey, hits him with a chop. We come back from a commercial break. Jey Uso's fought out of a chinlock, giving Kofi Kingston the hot tag. Kofi cleans house for a little bit, but then Imperium take over on Kofi for the heat. There's a great spot where Gunther's got Kofi in a Boston Crab position so he can just shout in Jey's face. So Jey Uso just walks through the ropes and slaps him, breaks the invisible wall. Everything breaks down between them two. The fans are like coming up, really wanting to see those two clash. But they parted ways again. Kofi gets himself out of trouble, tags in Jey for his hot tag. All the yeet offense, the crowd like doing all the yeets for all the forearms and all the big punches. Hits Samoan drops on both Kaiser and Vinci. Hits Vinci and Kaiser with hip attacks on either side. Then hits a super kick on a flying Vinci springboarding in from the ring. That was Young Bucks Sammy Guevara-esque.
Not really.
I don't just put that one in for either. And then finally, with the others dispatched, it's down to Jey Uso and Gunther one-on-one properly for the first time. It's a chop battle at first, and then Enziguri appears to stagger Gunther. A crossbody gets 2, but Gunther cuts off the spear, gets his massive like lariat clothesline, but only gets a 2. He starts going for his...
Good near fall.
Yeah, goes for the splash, but Jey gets the knees up, so he's not able to hit it. Gunther gets another couple of 2 counts, and then Jey manages to reverse, get the spear on Gunther for a 2 count, but it forces Ludwig Kaiser to make the save. Vinci runs in amidst all the chaos, gets hit with a 3-man 1D, and the Uso splash finishes Giovanni Vinci. Gunther's in the aisle at this point, doing the surrender cobra with his belt already back round his waist. This astonished me because I really enjoyed it, but it went 20 minutes, and I felt like for that, it absolutely flew. I don't know if it was just the movement of the 6, but the Jey Gunther story throughout, I thought was told particularly well.
I tell you what, this was a match of 2 halves. As a match in and of itself, it wasn't blow away great. It was cut to ribbons by, like, just the commercial breaks on WWE television are just not on. They don't do a good enough job for me. Of inserting them effectively. I kept getting like, oh, Christ, into it, and then,
yeah.
That's the noise. That's the noises I make when I watch a
Me too, in a way.
Good, long WWE TV match. Put it away. When it all broke down and you got to see it, that 1D was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Jey Uso was kind of like scrambling to complete his part, didn't quite get it. So you didn't get that sort of overwhelming rush of adrenaline because it didn't go bang, bang, bang. Great execution, great execution. It broke down in a way that I would describe as sloppy, so that wasn't ideal. I will say, however, that they did an expert job of the primary goal of the match, which was to tease and build and get you excited about Jey Uso versus Gunther. We kind of know where the finish is going. Jimmy Uso is going to, you know what he's going to do? What a terrible idea, by the way, it was to have the SmackDown guys in Raw matches here.
Yeah.
Because the idea is, like, I know it was agreed upon or whatever by the GMs, but the idea is you really want to have those worlds as separate as they could possibly be, so it'll feel like a transgression. In the event I might be being too cynical. Jump down my throat when I do this, by the way.
It's okay.
I do it to you all the time. I would have had minimal crossover ahead of the Jimmy Uso transgression, which I expect to be the finish. But regardless, as cynical as I am about the finish, the actual action in Jey Uso versus Gunther, I'm really anticipating on the back of their interactions here.
Yeah, it looked like they had pretty good physical chemistry for the near falls. Gunther's whole deal.
Some good near falls.
Yeah, like he's got that deal now where like everything he does is a finisher. But what that means is you can get some really close 2 counts. And
I will say that my big bugbear in wrestling right now is excess and discipline. And I feel like we go through this macro debate every single week. It feels like I won't dwell on it too much. But the idea being that we've seen everything, we're now post everything. The answer is to strip everything back, make everything a bit more pure, right? And I think Gunther ordinarily is fantastic at reserving that big splash or even the attempt when he's facing his fiercest challenge.
Yeah.
And I guess he could build, he's literally called main event Jey Uso. Maybe now is one of the occasions to do that big splash or attempt it. But he has potentially been doing that one too much. I love the idea of Gunther taken to the skies means I immediately, automatically respect the wrestler more.
Yeah.
For the times he has to do that. It's like breaking the sacred code and all the rest of it. Maybe he's gone to that well once too often. But otherwise, I'm hyped. I am genuinely excited for their match next week.
I think they, to your point, I think they gave away quite a nice spot in this match because obviously it's Jay's finisher as well, isn't it? The big splash. And when Gunther goes up and he does the little thing before he attempts his own one, I thought that would have been great. I'm not going to do my splash. I'm going to do the Uso splash. I'm a better you than you. Your point about the Elimination Chamber creating crossover, I completely agree with. Because they've currently got Braun Breaker in a bidding war as well.
Aye.
And it's like, where's he going to go? Well, evidently wherever the hell he wants.
Have they not left themselves enough time? Is that a byproduct of the whole, it was meant to be Punk versus Seth?
So much spins off the WrestleMania plans changing, doesn't it? This
Absolutely.
Included. They're on that, because we wouldn't get a chance to talk about SmackDown otherwise, and they're going to, it's figuring into
we talk about it in the office all the time.
This is it. Figuring into some of the matches on this card, and indeed on SmackDown last week. What did you make of WWE having rankings but not rankings and saying, well, these are our 12 best wrestlers?
If it was a couple of years ago and I was still in the more of discourse and still actually cared about, you'll find WWE does the same things. If I was in that frame of mind still, I might point out with a, degree of cathartic cynicism, I guess, that it's literally just matches to build the match. Yeah. And what's the story? The story is the wrestlers wrestle in order to vie for championships.
Yeah. It's a good thing, isn't it? They've just sort of
I like it in AEW, so I like it in WWE as well.
They just said, these are probably the 12 best we've got, and we'll put them in matches to determine number 1 contenders.
It's mad how it works.
Well, somebody that couldn't get in that bracket of 12 in AEW or WWE, for that matter, is Andrade. But he loves wrestling all the same, and we sort of reminded of his history and his successes to a point in NXT and with the mid-card titles in WWE. He left Sidge. Don't know if you remember this. He left in 2021, not to go elsewhere and not do any jobs, but to remember just who the hell he was. And he's remembered, which is lucky for him, and now he's back, and I guess he's going to kick ass in the Fed. I'm not terribly moved on this Andrade return so far, if I'm honest.
No, it's not doing a great deal for me. This
early doors.
Yeah, I'll let it play out. This vignette didn't do a great deal for me. It was weird, because WWE elsewhere, and again, low bar, has embraced continuity to a degree outside of its own canon. And that's how you build the character of Drew McIntyre. That's how you establish Cody Rhodes as your ace of the promotion. To do the usual WWE trick of, I assume Andrade just spent 3 years at home.
Yeah.
It didn't ring true. There was lack of credibility here. And again, they're not really acknowledging what actually happened is that he was completely normalized. He became just a guy. He actively wanted to leave because his star power was on the wane. They're instead doing this usual intelligence insulting WWE trick of, I remember me when I was goated and won loads of championships. Well, more of that, please. Really? You kind of had a complete bust of a run on that main roster, and you won that United States title when, at the time, in WWE broadly has done a very, very good job of, building those mid-card titles back up. Him going on about, I won the US title, so what? Who didn't at that time. So I don't think this was very good. I think it was one too many lies. Too many lies for me to buy this one.
I agree. They're gonna eventually go back to when sort of he's had 2 or 3 months and the novelty, if there even is a novelty, is worn off. They'll also lean on the Drew McIntyre thing. Like now I'm back. It's because I needed to be away because I need to learn how to be a better WWE superstar.
Yes,
for all these great WWE fans. They hit him in the Rumble. I'm not so sure how much faith they've got in him just yet. I think it's
kind of, it must be awkward not to sign him.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Got
so when someone invites themselves on a night out or hears about it,
yeah, and
it's oh god, I have to invite Bob now. I don't really want to. He sometimes makes it awkward. Sometimes makes it all about him. But Bob has caught wind of the socializing. It's kind of shocking. Unfair. Yeah. We use the word shan in the northeast of England. I'll be shan not to invite Bob now. If you're Triple H, it's kind of shan not to invite Andrade now. He's made so many overtures.
You've got
that he wants to come back. It's well, come on, Bob. Come on.
Charlotte Flair's rehabbing. And she says I'll come to the Rumble. I'll watch from a skybox if that's all right. And Triple H is like, yeah, it'd be brilliant to get yourself along. She's like, I'll bring Andrade. I'll tell him to bring his gear. That's what wrestlers do, right? Yeah,
go on then.
Okay, fine.
Aye.
Might as well use him. Like some poor mid-carder shooting if he is give him a spot to Andrade. Bobby Lashley and Bronson Reed.
Fun.
I thought this kicked ass.
Fun.
There wasn't too much there wasn't too much thought put into this. They're big
Didn't
guys.
need to be.
No, they're big guys that do their normal moves on people their size, and it looks super impressive. I think the best example of that in this was to sort of break it down, this was just a back and forth Raw match, but because they're both massive, when they do, for example, Bobby Lashley hitting that snap suplex, or Bronson Reed going for that running Death Valley Drive thing he does, it's awesome.
It's spectacle, this.
You could hear Gorilla Monsoon in the back of your mind saying they need to reinforce the ring for this one, because it was just all big, bombastic, meaty man stuff. And it ended ultimately, and I didn't think about this at the time until after, but it ends with, to this point, Reed going up for the tsunami, and then the spot that Ric Flair made famous, where he would always run at the top and get thrown off. Bobby Lashley did that to Bronson Reed. If that was in the video game, it'd be the ring collapsing spot, wouldn't it? You're just seeing him fly through the air, he gets hit with the spear, Bobby Lashley advances. So he gets the win, and ordinarily, we would just say, that's kind of Bronson Reed's spot, that's his role in all of this. I felt a little bit sad for him, because then it occurred to me that Elimination Chamber's in Australia.
Yes.
And I think he tweeted was the effect of how he feels like he's let everybody down. Sorry. Do you think that is, that tweet or that choice to not give Bronson Reed this match is an actual development for that character? Because he has now.
He's got now.
He's a big Raw guy, but he always loses.
Yeah.
He's Mantar in a post-New Generation age, where they make the big guy lose. Why should I care that he's a big guy? Is him I'm not trying to say this is Painmaker finding love, but is he kind of having to hit a bit of a rock bottom, and they're going to tap into an emotional cock? Because they've never done it with him.
I mean, they tried that with Vader in 1998, and look how that worked out. You kind of feel sympathy for a monster. I mean, it just does not work at all. It's completely oxymoronic. The match itself, one-dimensional, but a good one-dimensional. The only match they could have had done really quite well. I'll tell you, though, the idea that Bobby Lashley is always kind of on that protect list.
Yeah.
And the dynamic of Bobby Lashley, who's on that list, versus guy wrestling match to get into, bigger match in his country, had this sort of real drama to it. So it worked in and of itself on that basis. So I was kept guessing throughout. I was enjoying it. I mean, it is one of those where, irrespective of the promotion and the initials, this is surely the match that just everyone likes. It's objective as success as you can get.
Especially right now.
For a television match. Yeah, it does still feel like on trend. On trend and timeless all at once. If you didn't get into this by watching big lads pile into each other, I almost feel sorry for you. It's
the furthest away from real life that wrestling gets, and that's what wrestling should aspire to do.
Bobby Lashley, they're still probably not doing anywhere near enough with him. He's always so over.
Yeah.
They should be doing more with him in general.
Him going into the chamber is giving Last Street Kids and Mega Glove at WrestleMania.
Oh dear.
B-Fab has shown an association with Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits, so there's your Scarlet cut off to even do a 4-on-4 if you want.
Yeah.
That's kickoff stuff, brother.
Yeah, that is not so good, Al. One more thing I wanted to say. Yeah, broadly, didn't it feel like every Elimination Chamber What's what I'm calling this?
Qualifiers.
Qualifier, that's the word. Didn't it feel like all of the matches on the show had the exact same finish? Wrestler goes to do their finish, is foiled, winning wrestler does their finish, wins.
I didn't notice it at the time, but now you mention it, yeah.
I feel like
it's like a very
phoned-in agenting.
Yeah, like the obscured banana peel over and over again, but because it's with finishes, it sort of counts.
Yeah.
Like the matchmaking, to your point about not knowing who was going to win, that I would say that's been, again, maybe this is a favourable comparison to just copying AEW's homework here. You had that on SmackDown with Sami Zayn and Randy Orton, and I think you had it later on the show elsewhere with another qualifier. There is no, like, all of these matches have had winners and losers. And again, it's that, like, important philosophical shift that I think is still occurring within WWE. Just beat people.
Yeah.
Just beat people. And it doesn't matter. Sami Zayn lost to Randy Orton on Friday, and then he was here again. They played a quick recap of him getting beaten up last week, or saving Cody from a beatdown from Shinsuke Nakamura and Drew McIntyre. But then we cut back to him yet again in the empty arena with Jackie Redmond. She's saying, look, we sat here this time last week, and it was all guns blazing. You were going to fight your way to a title match at WrestleMania, and then at the first opportunity, you lose to Randy Orton, and now you're completely out the race all over again. Sami admits that he felt quite embarrassed by that, and it can be embarrassing falling short, especially when you call your shot, but he's overtaken by an unwavering belief in himself. That belief has carried him to WrestleMania in the past, and he promises to be a champion again. He didn't obviously specify that at WrestleMania, but he was speaking in big terms about WrestleMania and winning belts and things like that. He gets interrupted by Nakamura on the Titantron. Struck a look, this Sidge, because Nakamura must have known.
He's got powers.
Well, he does, right? Because
remember his live pre-tape?
That kind of happened here.
Yeah.
Sami was opening his heart to Jackie Redmond. And it just so happened that Nakamura had some prearranged subtitles and backing track for addressing directly what Sami had just said.
This was giving...
Pretty wise.
This is given pandemic, this, wasn't it?
Little bit.
Absolutely farcical, contrived set of circumstances, this was.
You had the ominous music playing as the subtitles, perfectly prepared subtitles came up. Like live subtitling, fair pay. That's like when you see it on the news, when the subtitles are
that can be done.
They're just trying to catch up with the presenter.
Hey, who am I to be snarky about this?
They were in. I don't know how they were doing it. They were in front of Nakamura, so fair play to them.
It's so rubbish, man. Wrestling sucks. I watch every WWE and AEW show, right? I have done for years. There is not a single show goes by where I don't think, oh God, wrestling's crap, innit? Wrestling's so fake and stupid. I've dedicated my life to this.
Counter offer. Main event set up tonight by Nakamura saying, I will pick up your soul and continue my warpath forward. So, you never said that to somebody when you're ready to fight?
I've never had a fight, so I can't speak to that. I will say that I experienced existential crisis.
That's not showing up on the videos that you get on the 4
Yeah, I know.
I will pick up your soul as I continue my warpath. Swings through him in a pub.
Continuous warpath. Loses all of the time. Right, so I'm getting my intelligence insulted on every single level. And I experienced whiplash here. You got an arm's length with this promotion because I was really into the Sami promo. It's so good. He's just one of the good ones.
Something's happening, isn't it?
Something's happening.
I can't work it out what yet. I've started to wonder.
Triple threat.
Well, a triple threat or mentioning of winning a championship. Could, after Jimmy Uso interferes, Gunther brutalise Jey and Sami makes the save and then he's Sami Gunther for the IC at Mania?
Maybe.
Because he ain't looking like Chad Gable. Sorry, everyone.
Sorry, Ibu.
Especially Ibu of Wrestle Purists. I want it as much as you, but that would be great.
I just whiplash here because I was really into it. Because Sami's just the best. His promo style is so believable. Had this bombast about him in an empty arena somehow. And then you had this live pre-tape again, and it's just nonsense.
Yeah, they're worlds apart, those two.
And it's like
in terms of their purpose and everything like that.
Live pre-tape, the fact that he's an absolute loser. He is a loser.
Yeah, he is.
Shinsuke.
Do you know who isn't?
A fake loser.
Do you know who isn't anymore, Sidge? It's Cody Rhodes. He's back. Everything is fine. And Lexington, Kentucky. What do you want to talk about? He wants to talk about.
That's going to do the Will Borden does head swivel now, doesn't he?
Do that. No. He adds all sorts. He'd probably put like a cowboy into it at some point. Cody wants to talk about how in the main event of WrestleMania 40, he's going to be challenging Undisputed Champion against Roman Reigns. Took him a while to even be able to say that, and the only reason he can say that is because of all the fans. They made their voices heard. There was a full week trending worldwide, posting about it, screaming about it, spreading the word, and the word was, and the "We Want Cody" chants pipe up. He says thank you. He says he doesn't know how he could ever repay them other than one way. He gets a bit emotional, does the sort of Cody, like fights away the tears. Says he gets it. He's a passionate guy. He said. He's passionate about this place. He's passionate about his legacy within WWE. Says his astrological sign is Cancer, so he's often wearing his heart on his sleeve. But he doesn't want to get emotional because then he might be called a crybaby. That gets a big response. The Rocky Sucks chant starts to filter through. While a lot of you were saying we want Cody, there was one man out there who 100% did not want to hear it. And that same man just happens to be the most famous man alive, a potential presidential nominee, the original People's Champion, and the same man who coined the phrase Cody's crybabies. Rhodes gets everybody to look up at the Titantron where they show the clip of like The Rock basically beginning what we would then see play out as a heel turn when he coins Cody's crybabies with Pat McAfee, and he talks about, check this out, Sidge, chicken nuggets. You get them, box 20, treat yourself, eat them, right? Shoving them up his ass. Because that's funny, right? That's I'm not the comedy writer. That's Brian Gee words. I haven't got $7 in my pocket. That's what I know. He turns to Pat McAfee. He's like, what was he saying again? Shoving up your ass. Sorry, Cody. Sorry, really sorry. And Cody gets, I love this little micro dig here that The Rock can fire back with on Friday. He says, now listen, I know promos are very different from the last time that he was here. And very few people can even fathom matching The Rock on the microphone. Great flex because he knows he's doing it as he speaks. But I do have to ask, what are we supposed to do with the Nuggets? He lets that sort of pass. He says, come on, I'm a fan of The Rock. We're all a fan of The Rock. I think all of us at some time in our lives, been a fan of The Rock. But the one thing The Rock does not do well is listen. I love this line. At the press conference, I said nothing to defile his ancestors. He wouldn't dream of going for the blood.
I think one of the reasons why I love Cody Rhodes so much is that the man has swallowed a thesaurus. And so did I at a young age.
He's got it in him. And yet he chose to slap me in the face. And
Candor as well he used to.
Yeah. Slap me in the face in public. I recognise the look in The Rock's
Can I
eyes.
say it was a terrible slap?
Do you think?
Really, really bad.
I think I was too hyped to properly focus.
And I mean, you're a Miz guy, so you don't go for you don't need believable action in your emulated sport.
That's right. I'm not looking for strong style.
But for Miz style.
I'll take Miz style. He said sometimes, I recognise the look in The Rock's eyes. It was no longer the people's energy, it was malevolence. The Rock and Roman Reigns together, that's the perfect storm. But please make no mistake about it, Rock. You put your hands on me, you slap me across the face, and what that means is I am going to hit you back. He's interrupted by...
Can I talk about Cody's part in this?
Yeah.
Before we talk about the Seth thing?
Yes.
Okay. In fact, when can I talk about the press conference? Because I wasn't in.
I'll tell you, like, we're on Cody, we're about to get to Seth. And you're off on Friday, so we haven't had a proper chance to catch up yet. I guess your thoughts on where the press conference started, how it got to, and now where we're at.
Let's talk the press conference before this Raw segment, okay? Let's do that. I thought it says something about my relationship with WWE television that this was automatically better. I saw your tweet about how this is awesome because it's like Raw, but without a 3-star 12-minute mid-card match threatening to break out. I agreed with that wholeheartedly. I think that it was a really effective, like truly effective bit of business that the qualms I had with were ultimately trivial, didn't matter. It felt like it lacked the true, this is real, as opposed to the TV where we are a bit performative and all the rest of it. They literally had a Titantron. It wasn't a gag on there, but they had the Titantron thing. The Rock's promo in particular had that, I know you're going to say what, so I'm going to space out my lines rhythm.
Snapped straight in, didn't he?
Yeah.
The wrestler brain kicked
that
in for the Rock.
WWE brain of line, what, line, what, line, what, line, what. And the slap, it just felt so staged. Like you did not, I mean, I doubt with someone like The Rock there that you're going to get that energy of, holy, this is broken down and it's gone awry. Leather him in the face. Leather him in the face, have hordes of security holding back Cody, who loses it. Absolutely loses it. It was like Triple H going, oh, sorry, I think we need the guy with the biggest cock to sort this one out.
The game
Triple H. I would have had it like security detail, like filtering out the more tense it got.
Mm-hmm.
I would have no sold the idea that these morons were chanting what, these obnoxious people chanting what. Just talk over them. Do not get into the rhythm of TV. This is meant to be different to TV. This is completely distinct from TV, but that TV vibe crept into it. In terms of the way it was plotted, nonsensical. I did really like this.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really effective, but I did have problems with the whole thing. Now, going down the line now, if people went, oh my God, yay, The Rock versus Roman Reigns, and it was like, we love Cody, but The Rock's here.
Yeah.
No chance this happens.
No,
and then you've got Cody versus... you got Punk versus Rollins. So what really happens? I don't think we'll ever get to the end of that, but I do think a pivot was made. I got worked, bro, and I genuinely think that's one of the reasons why I enjoyed this so much. We spoke in these seats pretty much this time last week about Roman seemingly, for no reason, burying Seth and his title. Oh, yeah, great pop. Into the center of the earth, the core of the earth. Turns out there was a really good reason why he said that, which I thought was incredibly politically shark-like at the time, and yet, no, they've sort of made it mean something in retrospect. They've done a fantastic job of booming me. They boomed me. I'm more than happy to be worked. I was like, oh, that's a great bit of thought. Yeah. That is a great bit of detail.
It was certainly better than when he called out Seth's shoes. Like, he was running short on patter on the stage, wasn't he?
Yeah.
You came in your wife's shoes. I think that H wears pretty cool clothes.
Yeah. So I do think it was uneven, and you'll never tie everything together in a neat bow. Like the idea of Cody just giving away the title shot, it feels very contrived. It feels like a pivot, but my God, it feels big. And as I said on X at the time, follow me, at M. Sidgwick, this was nowhere near as clever as it thought it was, but that had a bit of ambition about it. That had a bit of a unusual approach to it.
Yeah.
Very different to a traditional WrestleMania build. And I will take a flawed new idea over Triple H's tick box creative. And using the preeminent example, I will get to Cody's promo on Raw imminently. Like the Cody Brock program, face squeaks by in match where it didn't feel like he was the winner. Heel gets revenge by cheating in second match. Face wins clean in the third. That is WWE Trilogy Booking 101.
Yeah.
And it's very much how Triple H goes about things. And after 20 years of it, I'm like, where's the spark? Where's the thought? Where's the sense of shaking things up and doing something a little bit different? Where's the bold quality that I want in my pro wrestling? I got an albeit very flawed version of it at the press conference. And I'm Wilborn, our erstwhile host. He's not erstwhile, he's just on holiday. Loves him some Rock.
Yep.
And he loves him some Roman. And he loves some being very standing up for WWE in my face. Mm-hmm. Ordinarily, I'll say this to his face. Ugh, go away, Wilborn. I very much wanted to be in the office with him on Friday. What was he unbearable?
He was just...
Was he cock a hoop?
Oh, yeah. He was just hyped out the ass.
But his two favourites, like, together.
But I knew that.
The two-man power trip, except good and a commercial success.
Because he was DMing me at 1 a.m. because we were both watching live and then unable to go to sleep because it was too exciting.
Jesus Christ, I wish I hadn't asked.
And it was obviously just carried over. It's on a news video, which you can still check on our YouTube channel, because basically Friday's news is just consumed by this massive boot off and all the permutations and the like. So you'll get some hype Wilborn in there if you want to catch it.
Okay.
What I'll say about that, the point about Roman especially, I think he had to ultimately, like in advance, I guess, he had to remind everybody of his spot, because he now faces his own unique challenge of not being overshadowed by The Rock. Now that they're on the same side, it was quite strange how all of a sudden Roman went back to looking half his size, and it all went very 2015 Royal Rumble. I think they'll overcome that. I think that was one night, and they've done the work with Roman, and that's not an issue. As relates to Cody, And this sort of ties us back to the Raw promo. What they haven't done yet, and maybe they just won't, and it's wrestling, you can drop. So I don't like it, and I think they should get around it. I think the feeling on the night in Las Vegas was like injected with electricity when Cody came out last, because that was the moment that everybody collectively, if you've watched enough wrestling, knew Cody's getting the shot back.
Yeah.
They haven't ordered this in such a way
for
Cody not to get the shot back. And for me personally, I could relax into it. I was like, I don't know what they're doing here, and I'm pretty excited by it, but I know fundamentally Cody's going to say to Roman, I choose you, and it's going to be that match. And that was what it was all about all along. That was where if you really invested in WWE, I think that's where everything fell apart last week, because The Rock coming out just felt like it was very old-fashioned. WWE will just do what we like. And this was what you'd hated from Will Button. This is where we'd have got you. Right, the thing I've always said, Sage, is that WWE's a listening company, right? But this is the case where there's been the first time, probably in this Triple H creative regime, where a crowd has asked a pretty massive question of the booking, and they have pivoted and they have listened, and it's with nowhere near the stubbornness of Daniel Bryan in 2014. Like, nowhere near.
Yeah.
And I think all of that was refreshing as this, like, very show-busy, very WWE chaos was playing out on stage. I think those two things came together quite nicely. But Cody, including on Raw here, not addressing why he said, but not at WrestleMania.
That's why it's not as clever as it thinks.
Huge pothole that hasn't yet been filled.
And I don't think they will. Before we get to the Seth thing, which is basically the meat of this, I want to put over Cody Rhodes because he's brilliant at this, using a really weird analogy, so bear with me. X is a complete swamp that is pretty horrendous to scroll through 99.9% of the time. 0.1% of the time, you get a tweet or tweets so good that you're like, well, I can't stay away. Yeah. It's like the worst serotonin ever. One of those tweets is like, Drill does it, and there's others that do it, where they just completely poke fun at the idea of masculinity and badasses, and they just make a complete mockery of it. And I think it's a Drill tweet where he says, I rev up my motorcycle, drive up clouds of smoke. When they evaporate, I'm just dead. So the idea, I love that stuff like that. Cody Rhodes, in his just complete and utter at the chicken nuggets line, could not have done more with great comedic timing to just highlight what a relic The Rock and his act is.
Grow up.
I grew up,
Dwayne.
What am I doing with these chicken nuggets? Yeah. Like, what am I doing with them? I thought Cody did an excellent job, not just of undermining The Rock's absolutely ancient, prehistoric shtick, but of telling you, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to, like, be a good baby face who can be self-deprecating at times and not be this parody of a bloke. This is very much, it's 2024. What are we doing here?
It's like, I keep thinking, like last week especially, it was easy to slot Cody into that role. Like, why are they doing this of all people to Cody Rhodes? Because he's not a Daniel Bryan, he's a John Cena, he's a Hulk Hogan. He's better than those, because in obviously very different generations, they would have like just laughed along with the chicken over it. Good one. You know, the only time, like, people still post that clip of like, here's Cena, Ether, and The Rock from their like WrestleMania program. It's very much the only time Cena gets serious in the story. He says, yeah, go Patter, I'll shove it in my ass, but like, hey, I'm going to beat you at WrestleMania. And like, that's, great, nice one, John. Like, I'll watch the other 11 months of the year when you do what The Rock's saying to you right now, but you do it to other people.
He had
it's so hypocritical.
Cheek during that Mania build. Some of his tweets as well.
Yeah. Oh, he's so funny. He accused The Rock of homophobic language in his promos.
John Cena did that.
Yeah. Anyway, there's no John Cena here. It's Cody Rhodes.
Thank Christ.
It's Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. I'm going to take a gamble on this button. That's what plays in Lexington, Kentucky as he comes out.
And everyone sings the song.
Sings that along with him, yeah. And he says he was looking forward to defending his world title against Cody at WrestleMania, but he understands the decision. He understands why he picked Roman Reigns. He understands why he needs that title. He's got to finish the story. And there are millions of people around the world that want you to finish the story. We could all see that. And now the decision is made. Let me make this clear to you. You need to finish the story. You need to do it for you. You need to do it for me, for your dad, for everybody here. And I'll tell you why. If you don't beat Roman Reigns at WrestleMania and take the championship from him, the landscape on the other of WrestleMania is very, very dark. Roman Reigns gets more power. He gets more leverage. He shows up less. He defends. Leverage. If I reminded myself of Becky Lynch later on saying gym class. You don't need to say that.
No, it's PE, and you know it.
PE, yeah.
PE, and you know it. Fears Ed.
The glass.
Cilantro.
Parmesan. The glass ceiling, Sidge, it gets thicker. The brass rings, Sidge, they get further and further away. Remember, he's a Swiss gentleman.
Yeah.
That's why I can't have a brass ring.
Yes.
Swiss people don't need brass rings. They get further away, and it's probably the last real chance that any one of us has a chance to take the title, give the power of that title back to the people. You might be the man for the job, Cody. What's your plan? In that very Seth Rollins way. Because last year you got screwed in the main event of WrestleMania. The Usos were there, Paul Heyman was there, Solo was there, and with Roman Reigns you couldn't get the job done, but you fought your way back. You won the Rumble again. The deck stacks against you just the same, but it's been raised even higher because you're not just dealing with them, you're dealing with the biggest star and most influential man in the entire entertainment industry. You've got to deal with The Rock. By mentioning the name of The Rock, it's quite smart from Seth. You got the huge Rocky Sucks chant. That was like the break he needed to be able to say, Lexington, I agree with you, which is why I came out here to tell you that you don't have to fight this battle alone. You and I haven't always seen eye to eye, but last week you told Roman Reigns you don't just want to take his title from him, you want to take everything from him. There's the line. He doesn't add, but not at WrestleMania, because this would make sense otherwise. And when you said that, I felt that. And this is why at the press conference, when The Rock put his hands on you, I stepped up because I'm sick and tired of people like The Rock or people like Roman Reigns, these arrogant, entitled pricks who think they can do whatever they want to throw their weight around, make any decision with no consequence. I'm sick and tired of them always getting away with it. I've got to admit something to you right now, Cody. The man Roman Reigns is partly my fault. Nearly 12 years ago, we came down those stairs with tactical vests on. We were brothers forged from the same fire. I taught him everything I know. I'm partly responsible for the man he is, but I could have never imagined the monster he's become. And now that monster's got two heads because he's standing side by side with the only man on the planet who is entitled and as selfish as he is. When it comes to fighting the Bloodline, when it comes to fighting The Rock, and when it comes to fighting Roman Reigns, there is only one man on earth, you're going to have to help me on this one, Sidge, who is uniquely placed to be your shield. Help us out there, because
Seth Rollins was in the Shield.
I was thinking maybe Cody was going to do that like superhero thing.
No.
Seth was just going to stand.
Seth famously debuted as part of a faction stable called the Shield. We're being facetious here, being snarky. This is genuinely really, really strong. I did think he kind of looped and talked about the same thing a little bit.
Yeah. He had his big lines to get to, and he would like take that run up if he'd. I forgot that line. I'll do the run up again and do that line again. But they were good, big lines to hit, weren't they?
Good sound bites, well written, probably overwritten. But I mean, I would be a complete dickhead to complain about that if you read my articles. But no, genuinely, this is really, really strong stuff. And I think the best way of highlighting how strong it is that if you were to be told, right, it's 2 weeks ago. We sat in these chairs and Seth tried to petition Cody to come after my title. If you'd said 2 weeks ago that they were, in 2 weeks' time, you will have a promo battle between Cody and Seth, and yeah, they're on the same page, you'd think, oh my God, they've completely bollocks this up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The idea of 2 weeks later, them coming together for the same cause and on the same page, but for like a really great, seemingly out of left field reason. I think they've done a fantastic, flawed, illogical, but fantastic job of building these matches and the continuity as well between WrestleMania 38 and 39 with Cody's story. Lovely bit of probably happenstance.
A little bit, I think, yeah.
But it's been so well done.
I think it's happenstance, but it's in one of them ways where you didn't plan for it, but these two are always going to be in the mix.
Yeah.
And we're always going to be in the conversation. And while it's a happy accident that it's right now, I've said this to you before, I love it in pro wrestling when old rivals like find a common ground. It's so like, I don't know, it makes
respect.
Yeah, respect. It tightens up old rivalries, and it does build, like, it builds the sort of legacy around these two, separate from Roman and The Rock, and builds up Roman Reigns. Like last year, I thought it was all perfect because Cody had basically like got his own little army of baby faces. I can stop the Bloodline because I've got Kevin Owens and I've got Sami Zayn. They're going to deal with the Usos. Problem solved. he's like re-solidified his forces, but now he's got the world champion.
Yeah.
The going from WrestleMania opponents to a potentially like a WrestleMania tag main event. Just the visual of that is so nice. Like all of Cody's WWE return can include Seth Rollins in the law now.
Yeah.
Like all of the big stuff.
And as well, like as much as I earnestly loved that trilogy between Cody and Seth, particularly the third match, even though I think the second went solely underrated personally.
Yeah. That was Cody just refusing to get hit with Seth's big moves and finishes and proving that he was a great counter artist.
Yeah. Really, really, really great stuff. Good as it was, I wasn't gagging to watch them wrestle again pretty much ever. That's what happens when you do that many matches in such a short space of time. Cody versus Seth 4, whenever it happens, feels big now. They've continued, I hate the story between them. Yeah, this is really, really strong. I wish my investment for Mania elsewhere was as high as it is, but this tag match...
I was going to ask you, what's your thoughts on this tag? Like,
looks
night
great.
one main event.
Looks great.
It's great. Who wins?
Well,
and who loses?
That's the thing. Inherent drama because no one can do the job in that match. Maybe a miscommunication. Cody pins Roman twice or something.
A lot of thought about Cody pinning The Rock and Roman on the same weekend as, you've had everything now, right?
Because I think the idea is they still want to do Rock versus Roman. They can build their conflict by miscommunication or falling out mid-match in that tag. So you're building night two of 40 and 41 all at once, really, on night one of 40 XL. So I think the Rock and Roman, I'm calling it, again, I want to hit this canon. People should say this.
A lot of people are saying.
You know what I mean? I deserve to be in the vernacular at this point. Tawny Khan. I mean, come on. I mean, that's unbelievable. Where is my respect? The two-man power trip, ellipsis, but good. It's one of my least, favorite bits of, made-up nostalgia.
Yeah, they kind of
There's two hard guys and they kick ass. Yeah. The two-man power trip was dismal television, a ratings disaster. Oh, Invasion would have been goated if Triple H was there. No, it would have been worse.
Even worse.
It would have been even worse than it already was. So I'm really into the two-man power trip, but good.
The good line.
What an act it already is, and they've been together for the good line.
Haven't that?
It's better than mine.
Can I do the Wilbon bit with you today?
I resent it.
You know the thing about the two-man power trip? Watch the formation. Triple H gets the biggest pop of his career because it's here's the babyface turn you've been aching for, and he's going to do it against Steve Austin. What? They're going to flip it? He's like, no, I'm too big a heel, actually. I'll turn. I'll stay heel, and Steve Austin's my little friend.
Yeah.
He was making his magician's assistant. I was like, that's the rattlesnake, Paul. Frig off.
You've won, Pat, sadly. Yeah. You have won.
Aye. No, I totally I think the Seth Rollins has found himself in a very unique position of having the best political argument to not eat the pin when he looks on paper like the pin eater.
Aye.
It's kind of amazing how he's because he's going to be defending his title the next night. You kind of
Drew could interfere, I guess.
Roman could just say your belt's worthless, you're getting beat.
Yeah,
and then that's decided. Tick, tick, tick.
Drama out the ass.
Drama out
for both nights.
Yeah. Two nights. Second night. Back to the Elimination Chamber qualifiers. We've got Liv Morgan and Zoey Stark next. Go on.
Just wasn't good, was it?
No. It was pretty heatless, but this is obviously a problem.
You're a rat piss on cat.
A problem of the women's division and not the problem of the wrestlers. I always feel like we kind of have to say
I don't know how seriously I'm meant to take Zoey Stark.
No. The exact point I wanted to make, Liv Morgan has...
Basically, this was a back and forth match, and one finisher begat another.
She has a variety of different zigzags, basically, which I never really like to finish it because you're taking a rock bottom on yourself. But she keeps hitting that. And then Zoey Stark will do something dead hard. She's a striker. That's her crack. But and there was a Death Valley driver. There's apron spots. And Liv Morgan has got this gimmick now where she takes a load of punishment. She's she's like a work rate Shotzi, low bar, right? But she'll take a load of punishment, but watch me. And you watch her and she gets her ass kicked and then she comes back and she wins. And that's pretty much what happened here. But
no one cared.
In the time Liv Morgan's been away, Zoey Stark has been trying to carve out this niche as second only to Shayna Baszler. It's the hard case of the division. Yeah. And it's pretty undermined by
she's got no credibility as a character. Pretty directionless. I have to give it to Jose Mourinho with Liv Morgan brackets general.
A lot of people love her.
Prefer not to speak. If I speak, I'm in big trouble. Because, and the thing is, it's not like I don't get why she has this ultra strong following.
Yeah.
I think she's, on occasion, been really good in the ring. For whatever, I can't remember a loud Liv Morgan match. Just can it.
Probably a cash in. Just a easy win stuff, yeah.
I could cash in.
Yeah. I'd want to see that. Michael Sidgwick running down the aisle with a briefcase and a referee.
I think she's got a lot of the attributes, but my God, I don't think I've ever seen them put together. Yeah. And I quite like Liv Morgan as a wrestler. I think she's got some unique offense. Like, I think she's got... I just think there's something to her. So I understand why they persist, and I understand why she's got a following, but I'd be lying if I said there was this great, like, library of matches, this overwhelming evidence to say, she should be pushed higher than she is.
I agree. There is a nice detail coming off the back of this that you might appreciate.
Big trouble.
With Liv Morgan qualifying, and they flashed up the graphic later on the SmackDown side of things for qualifying, you would assume Naomi and Tiffany Stratton both go through, leaving one space. Tiffany Stratton. Leaving one space for Jade Cargill, based on a blurred graphic that WWE seemed to upload, spoiling the 6. Outside of Bayley, those are the final 6 in the Royal Rumble. That's quite nice, isn't it?
Not bad.
That's not bad.
Not bad at all.
A little bit of peppering in there. Speaking of peppering in the good stuff, it's R-Truth time.
Oh, God.
That's not a great week. Not a great week.
Never is.
Awesome Truth WrestleMania campaign.
Is. Completely botched this campaign.
Disagree. But R-Truth is asking...
It's like DeSantis level botch job from you, this.
Asking JD McDonough to have a reality check. He's just not in the Judgment Day stage, you see, because the priest gets in the middle of it. He's sick of it all. He says, look, it was never an initiation. You're not in the Judgment Day. And if you
should just be chinning him on sight here.
Well, he said if you keep going the way you're going, it's going to be an execution. We're away. There's no ambiguity at this point with Priest. It's just like, we're going to kick your ass. And in the interim between that and the match with JD McDonough, R-Truth is trying to get hold of the Miz and seeing if he can make it to Lexington from LA in time. I don't think he can, Sid, you see, because that's too far. So the Miz, that's what they've done, is establish that the Miz isn't going to be there to save him tonight if things go wrong. And would you believe it? Things go wrong, because JD McDonough gets the win over R-Truth. There's nothing to this because the ad break just kills pretty much the whole match.
So does JD McDonough.
Yeah, we see R-Truth going for his John Cena stuff, but he misses an axe kick into that Saito suplex finisher. It's got some wacky the devil inside.
The devil inside.
But that he beats R-Truth fairly handily. The Judgment Day.
Was there an interference leading to the finish?
Let me just check my notes.
Kind of.
I maybe think Balor's arsing around a bit of ringside, but
I think like Priest was like, he got up on the apron. I think that was meant to momentarily distract R-Truth, but it didn't really feel like they had 1 foot.
No, like
it was only 1 foot in.
Yeah, because well, I've got it in my notes, but I remember it now. It played out.
Is it meant to be like internal conflict, melodramatic acting, except it just did not land?
It didn't. Yeah, it didn't sort of scan at all, because basically
hesitation. Do I hurt my friend?
Who I've said I'm going to execute at the price.
Yeah, no.
Like, he misses the axe kick, and then JD McDonough just kind of runs at him with the devil inside. So there's not even really any time to process that. The 4 of them get in. Damien Priest, that was when he was stood in the apron being like, come on, guys, finish him off. Otherwise, I'm going to have to do this. And, you know, it's a bit cruel what I'm doing. But he does anyway. The kick his ass. And DIY make the save. Obviously, of course, as friends of the Miz, like, friend of Miz, a friend of ours. And you're probably as hyped as I am for the 8-man, right?
Not at all. Not remotely. This match was very poor. You could pretty much hear a rare piss on can. I
did see almost none of it. The advert seemed cynically designed to cut out as much of this match as possible.
Look, we've had, it's a word I'm looking for here, about our debates about R-Truth.
Fun.
Ultimately, right, if you strip away everything, your subjective entertainment value from the children's TV character that is R-Truth.
Yeah.
Okay? You're 39 years old.
38, pal.
Are you 39?
Yeah. April.
April.
Several months before you. I'll always be older.
Yeah.
Is that easy for you? I don't know. Hamflett will always be older.
Always. The association between R-Truth and the Judgment Day, and yes, Punk being there, another way We've got a new guy in the world title picture, and his name's Phil Brooks.
Yeah.
Other than that, which didn't help, the exercise in comparison and contrast, right? All this R-Truth business has served to do is to make Damian Priest feel like not a big deal.
I don't disagree with that, yeah.
Like, not a major concern. The idea of him cashing in as this star power upon star power has sort of encroached on WrestleMania season. Hasn't helped, but my God, it's like a dual sword with R-Truth.
Yeah,
ultimately, he's not as big of a threat or a star or anything. And if this is meant to drive this long-held idea of Damian Priest, I think I want to cheer you as a babyface when you break up from those louts in the Judgment Day. Because that was a thread they've been tugging on for months. Even along those lines, I don't think it's worked. Because I just think I like him less.
I don't disagree with that. The briefcase is looking in the wrong hands right now because it shouldn't be part of this story. I like Awesome Truth and Judgment Day for a belt at Mania because I'm old enough to know that you need range on these cards, and that's a capital M moment.
Good range.
Capital M moment, but it'll get a big response in the building. I think if a character like R-Truth, people have that thing, don't they, about like wrestlers deserving titles through longevity.
I think it's doomed for another showcase, these tag titles.
Possibly.
Not another showcase, because obviously the tag titles headlined last year, but I think it's absolutely got
like
four-way ladder or something written out of it.
Maybe. But yeah, I like the idea of that little thing where like R-Truth can barely believe it. He's won the belts and all that. But the Damian Priest stuff, I think, has been fumbled most of all because when we were watching him theoretically evolve into this next babyface star, that was when the R-Truth character made the most sense. Because you were saying they were copying their own homework with the bloodline, but you had the one stable member that thought he's all right actually, and that was Priest. And it was great because you're building this sympathetic profile of Priest. In having them just directly turn on Truth, he's been at the front of it. So I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to think of Damian Priest anymore. Aren't him and Finn tighter than ever?
I don't know.
It's like
they're united against a common enemy now.
But the common enemy just wants to be their friend.
It's absolutely crap, and I've said so from the start. Vindication.
I love
Where's my vindication?
I love it, and much like the main event scene of WrestleMania, they'll fix it with like some.
I thought you were going to segue to the main event, but we're a long way away.
We're not as far away as you think, actually.
Good.
This Raw zipped along. We've got Becky Lynch.
Shut up.
We got
you absolute asshole.
Becky Lynch out next. Before she gets started, she points a bit of Cody. She pointed at a sign that a kid was holding up in the crowd. Saying it's great to be in Lexington, and I guess it's great to be going to a prom that I'm going to be going to in 2034. And then they cut to a fan that had a sign up, which was quite sweet. She says it's the road to WrestleMania, and she wants all of this, even when it's really difficult, because Sidge, when it comes to wrestling, she absolutely loves.
Yes, been there.
She's always wanted to be in.
Yes, been there.
Since she was 15, she was obsessed with.
Yes, been there.
That's right. Even as somebody who failed PE, she still went on to be the first woman at main event WrestleMania. She met her husband, she's had a daughter, and she's missed birthdays, she's missed weddings, she's missed her own father's funeral. It is given, and it's taken away from her, but she loves it. She sometimes has to have chats with her daughter about why she looks busted open and bloody, why she can't pick her up sometimes when she's got a separated shoulder. I like this. Why her dad wants to fight Maui.
That was a great line.
That's pretty cool, isn't it?
That's a great line.
And how after Elimination Chamber, she might look even worse. She then pivots to Rhea Ripley, says she knows a lot of people love her and think that no one can beat her, but Lynch isn't just anybody. She can beat the best, she can still be the best. She wants to toast to Rhea Ripley's last few days as champion, so she grabs a drink from somebody at ringside, looks like cloudy lemonade, I sort of wanted one. But she gets interrupted in the toast by, we haven't even talked about, on camera at least, about the Taco Bell Baja Blast Mountain Dew cake.
Why would we?
They put it in a pie. They put pop in a pie. I love your country, Americans. I could not live there. I would die there. Nia Jax comes out, and she's very tearful, Sidge. I don't think you knew where this was coming. Swerve, bro. She was very tearful. She said how she wishes her mother was half the mother that Becky Lynch is. She wishes that she could have half the emotions that Becky Lynch is able to bravely share on television. And she talks about how she thinks Lynch is going to win at Elimination Chamber. Just like I'm going to win. The tears were fake. Just like I'm going to win, Becky. And obviously the implication, because we don't get a chance to talk anymore about this, is if she wins the title, Becky Lynch is screwed again because Nia's got a number.
They've telegraphed this one, which is unfortunate.
Isn't it? Because they've done the work.
They did a really good job of the Nia versus Rhea stuff.
But
they've telegraphed the outcome now.
They put Becky on the stage at Vegas instead of Bayley. So it's like, well, what matters at WrestleMania?
And that was short-sighted.
Yeah. Rhea interrupts. And
just like me. Got ease.
Got you.
Got is.
Rhea interrupts for what I thought was a pretty great brawl. There's no talking. There's no waiting around. There's no NXT Rhea Ripley where she does the pose with a stomp on the foot first. She's straight at the ring. Nia dives for her. Rhea sort of like dives in the ring and dodges Nia Jax at the same time. They have a brawl, but the brawl sort of like squashes Becky Lynch in the corner as Nia's throwing fists. She appears to hit Rhea, just miss Becky Lynch. It sort of all breaks down. You nearly have physical interaction between Lynch and Rhea Ripley as Nia powders. And as you say, you're setting up Elimination Chamber and WrestleMania. I'm with you. I really liked how they put everything in place.
Should just waited.
Just be a bit more patient with Becky and Rhea.
A bit more patient.
Have a little patience.
Butt rock, take that. Sounds awful.
It would be terrible, wouldn't it? Really Shane. Drew McIntyre is on about how he's the only one that's unselfish around here.
Trying to think of what Butt rock, take that song's now. I'm distracted.
Once you're back for good.
If it only takes a minute, girl.
It sounds like the kind of thing the dead man would like. Pop music, get that off.
It only takes a minute, girl. It only takes 4 hours to get my away. Be up all night with old Tiki. It only takes 4 hours, girl.
Can Nicholas can just go out and cut swears because the dead man's a bit fast and loose with his language.
It'll take all night, girl, because I'm a big man. I'm a dead man, but I'm a big man, too.
Can we talk about the dead man for a second? You must have seen the comments yesterday. I went back in the locker room, and it's very chill.
Too chill.
He's suspicious of people being relaxed. I didn't see nobody shouting at nobody. What the hell happened back there, Paul?
Some of this business.
I thought you were a goddamn degenerate.
I love that. Be suspicious, like.
Just like fighting nobody in the locker room. The wrestlers walk past him. Undertaker's there, like sort of like a vagrant that's crawling in the locker.
Yeah.
Is he shadow boxing? Is that what he's saying?
Love the idea of I need to be cut through. You need to be kicking each other's asses. They're all stars. Well, there's a lot of stars now. It's nice to each other.
I didn't see Dominic Mysterio throwing no soup bowls. What the hell happened to this business?
Who's in the shower?
Your father would be so disappointed in you. I've been hearing on TV he's a deadbeat. Seems all right to me. Remember when Rey Mysterio like shoot broke Undertaker's nose? Like the 619 worked. Like, that's why he thinks it's all real. Hey, that spin and sit out, flip out kick you do kind of hurts, Ray. I like it.
Buy me some beer.
Get the boys creative. He liked Drew McIntyre. Drew's kind of sick of everyone being so selfish when he's not. Cody Rhodes.
Ain't no Captain Come Quick. It won't take a minute. I just need to clarify. It won't take a minute, girl. It'll take a long time.
You will not rest in peace. You will be exhausted from a night of passion with the damn man. Hey, Kane, get over here. We need to relight her fire.
Shut up, man.
Drew's going to take Cody out of WrestleMania.
Yeah,
a lot like CM Punk. What else we got?
Not much.
Speaking of which, R-Truth, this will get the locker room back up and about again. R-Truth thanks DIY for the help. Thanks a lot, DX. Seeing R-Truth's back, right? Like calling DIY, yeah, not DX. DIY, he's got the letters wrong.
I know, I hate you.
Which one's which? Because Ciampa's a bit of both, isn't he? He's Triple H in a lot of ways, but like Michael's is kind of a raggedy old garbage man as well, isn't he? Neither of them are Gargano. Gargano's got the Shawn. Oh,
it's weird that
Derek.
Degrees of separation with NXT law. Adam Cole used to be the Shawn Michaels doppelganger.
Yeah.
Now Tommaso Ciampa is the Shawn Michaels doppelganger. How's that happen?
How'd it happen?
Comment.
Both. It's LA Knight and Ivar next in another Elimination Chamber qualifying match. it's LA Knight, so you kind of have to go back to basics. He's smaller than Ivar, so he has to duck and dodge and then attack when he can, but he's only really got his base.
Slammed.
Yeah, basic.
Splattered with that barricade deal.
Yeah, the big deal he does on the barricade on the floor.
The deal.
Takes us to the break with Valhalla screaming. It all feels a bit weird, and LA Knight's in trouble. But the fans are really with him. They're sort of willing back into life. Ivar gets the Jeff Cobb Tour of the Islands move, and LA Knight looks pinished, but he comes back. There's a couple of near falls, and then eventually he gets the BFT on Ivar to get the 1, 2, 3 and go to Elimination Chamber. Fairly predictable, this one.
It was okay. It was like totally mediocre, other than a few spots, but loud.
They'll never.
It's got a vertical leap on him. I tell you what, I was kind of terrified with that suplex.
I've always
feel like it didn't feel like Ivar had quite enough time to rotate.
Yeah,
that's the most excitement I've ever felt, and it's like LA Knight gets me most excited when it looks like it's going to go awry. And I know that's wrong.
No.
But it's an actual palpitation. Not like exciting as in good, as in...
It's weird, right? Because you have to give LA Knight basic stuff.
Like his moonsault.
I'm not shooting on LA Knight. I don't... Like, if you get over and you find one way...
You like LA Knight?
Yeah, like, I don't mind the layout of his matches as long as they make sense, ultimately. And I don't need... Like, the more... If he adds a bunch of moves to try and be more spectacular, that character falls away a little bit for me. But... the rule-proven exception is that, like, vertical leap onto the top rope. And his matches do need that because you can watch headlocks and comebacks and stomping mud holes and he's just stopping short of people's elbow, basically. But, like, you can watch all that, and then the vertical leap spot is supposed to be a bit of a surprise. If you do that vertical leap and it doesn't go absolutely perfectly, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Just stick to your ground-based stuff and that works. So it's like, it's proper high-risk, high-reward as going to the top rope used to be.
Yeah.
Now everybody goes up, but LA Knight kind of has to put it all on the line, so I do quite like it. And he's going into Elimination Chamber. Logan Paul has got his own qualifier, and it seems like that's probably where you kick off their WrestleMania thing in the Chamber.
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about that more on the SmackDown preview this week. Are you excited? Sami Zayn runs into Drew McIntyre backstage. He wants Sami Zayn to keep Drew's name out of his mouth and keep his nose out of his business. Sami Zayn simply says, Drew, you're in my way. I mean, it's a pretty massive corridor. He's not really.
Yeah.
He's like, get out of the way, please. And Drew just steps aside. It's all fine. It's all good. We get the highlights of it. It's basically an Excalibur rundown at this point. There's this. For Christ's sake, don't miss the Rock, and so on. And then there's a graphic that comes up that says we're going to have a last chance battle royal for all.
Be good graphic, that, wouldn't it?
What's that?
Eddie Kingston addresses his enemies. Tony Khan has a big announcement. For Christ's sake, don't miss the Rock.
On Collision.
Yeah.
Wet. They put the Rock on Rampage. Aye. Taped. There's going to be one.
Get his win streak up on dark.
Going to have the losers match. It's going to be a battle royal, which I just assumed, that's everyone that lost the qualifiers. But then we go backstage to Postman Pierce. He's like Indy Hartwell and kind of Lorraine are always just cast as just total losers. They just sort of hang out with Postman Pierce until other people arrive in his office, and then he needs a bloody drink from all the yapping women. And it happened again here. They want to get in the last chance losers battle royal, even though they haven't been in the qualifiers, to become losers.
Yeah.
Think about that.
I know. I don't want to. So
Chelsea Green is there doing the Chelsea Green stuff. She wants in. She's saying, why should I be bothered about Candice and Indy and other losers like Shayna Baszler and Zoey Stark? But Nathan Fraser, they're behind me, aren't they? And they were. They were behind her. Shayna and Zoey want to get in that match as well, but they also want a shot at the Kabuki Warriors for the tag belts. They leave. Chelsea Green bollocks Postman Pierce for not letting her know. They're behind me, aren't they? And then, Adam Pearce needs a drink. This division's not very good, is it? Not very good. There's a star.
That's my insightful colour commentary. It sucks.
Stars and nothing, I would say, is this division at the moment. The top bracket, pretty massive.
And then nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Main event time.
Ooh.
Shinsuke Nakamura and Sami Zayn with a TakeOver Dallas-esque match. I think you'll agree. In that it's featuring Shinsuke Nakamura and Sami Zayn.
Yes.
And no other comparisons. This was fine. Nakamura dominates the match on offense. It's kicks and chin locks. Sami Zayn fires out. It gets an amazing reaction from the live crowd.
God, I know.
But like now, it's fans love Sami Zayn. Of course they do. Sami Zayn's amazing. And
he cared enough for the both of them, I think, in this one.
He works it. There's the sort of some of the old Sami and Nakamura chemistry, or the old Sami Zayn in NXT, let's just say that, where like the things he's attempting, he's kind of like sizing up the ring through the post DDT that he would do, and he's like, I'm gonna have to dust off all the old stuff. It kind of feeds back the promo he was cutting earlier on about having to believe in himself despite all the things in his way. Ultimately, we get to the point where Sami Zayn hits the blue thunder bomb for the 2. Nakamura rolls out to the floor. That's when Sami goes for that like diving DDT, but he gets smashed in the face by Nakamura. Again, it's kicks and counters.
Save that for Mania if you can still do it.
Yeah, like if you're going to
one of the best moves ever. That
class, isn't it? It's kicks and counters, kicks and counters. Zayn fires back with a massive clothesline, does the exploder into the corner, goes for the haluva kick.
What if someone did a destroyer with that setup?
Oh my God, that's got to be possible. I can already visualize. It was Ray Phoenix that popped in my head when he said that.
Prime Ray Phoenix.
Sliding through the gap. Yeah. Hey, that's dynamite this week.
Someone should do that.
Treat yourself.
And I should get the credit.
Could be in there. That could be how one of the CMLL lads gets their first victory over the BCC. Imagine that, like Canadian on the floor. Canadian on the floor, rolling.
That's right.
Rolling, Mox gets up at 1.
Yeah.
Goes to the exploder. Drew McIntyre appears on the ramp. That's enough for Nakamura to the chop block, but with a kick instead, and then smash him with a Kinshasa. Gets the win. Zayn's been beaten again. Drew gets in the ring. There's a beatdown on with the two of them. Cody Rhodes makes the save. That sets up Cody versus Drew next week on what will be the Elimination Chamber go-home show, and Sami Zayn loses again as we go off the air.
I don't know where it's going, but I know it's going somewhere, and I think that is exciting. More exciting than the match, which, again, outside of Sami at times caring enough for the both of them.
Yeah.
But it's still, you don't want to further remind fans mid-quasi push that Shinsuke Nakamura is not what he was.
The jobber to the stars role has always existed, but I don't think Nakamura is very good at it because you're supposed to receive these kicks as the deadliest in all of wrestling.
Aye.
Like, it should be somebody with, like, once LA Knight hits the apex and starts the downward slide, he's sort of a perfect for that role. Not Nakamura. Oh my God, he's kicked his face off. Yeah, but he sucks.
Yeah, he does.
What am I supposed to think?
Yeah.
And what are you supposed to think, eh? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want to have more chats with us on X, you can do so. You can find Michael Sidgwick at
M. Sidgwick.
You can find me at Michael Hamflett. You can follow our brilliant producer, Adam Nicholas, at It's Adam Nicholas. You can follow all of us at What Culture WWE. We'll be back on audio later on with the NXT preview. It's a big night for Stacks. That's why he can't be here today. That's the only reason he can't be here today.
Yes.
Until next time, we will see you soon.